Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
This is Awesome Wrestling Show. I'm Glenn Moore, joined here by Steve Guy in studio on a cold, wintry day here in Cleveland, Ohio. We have some big news, Steve.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
We finally have a website
Yes.
for all of you people to go to visit, to listen to past shows. We're going to be posting some articles up there, some linkage, posting to Steve's new gig there, racking the big bucks in.
Yeah, you know
the
it.
Examiner, talking some wrestling.
Well, you know, just starting out, dear. I got to go home and write a couple articles.
There you go.
Slacking.
So we're going to be linking out to that. We'll be posting all our shows, interviews, and everything else on ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com. ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com is a site. We have a Facebook page as well. If you like us, you go to the website. You can like us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, anything.
Instagram,
Tumblr. We're everywhere.
What is Tumblr?
Tumblr is like a free website for people, but like you have to have like it's like This Is Awesome. Ours is thisisawesome.tumblr.com. Just a show feed. That's all.
Okay.
But I mean, you can post pictures.
We're still on Periscope, guys.
I mean, we have Periscope. we still out there. Instagram, we haven't used it in a while, but maybe Steve will post a Throwback Thursday of him announcing AIW.
I will be going to some exciting things in the next coming weeks. I'll definitely be posting Instagram photos of. Headed down to Miami for Legends of Wrestling.
Yeah.
And,
you're going to the Rumble.
I'm going to the Rumble. I'll post pictures of that as well as Raw the next night. So that'll be some fun Instagram
there you go.
stuff.
Well, a lot of things going on for This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Kicking off 2016 with a bang. So visit our website, like us on Facebook, and interact with us on Twitter. We have people talking about our past show, worst and best wrestling themes. We had Ryan Kelly in studio. Great show. Great talking about wrestling themes. And we continue that trend of talking about certain topics in professional wrestling of the past and present. We're going to be talking about our favorite Royal Rumble memories.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about just memories that stick out in our mind. One of the best Rumbles ever. We're going to talk about 1992 when Ric Flair won the title. That kind of correlates to what's happening right now in WWE. But we're going to take the first 15 minutes here and kind of recap what's going on in wrestling right now. We're not going to recap Raw. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit, but main stories going on right now. And we got to kick it off with Sting being named to the WWE Hall of Fame. A man who deserves it, even though he's only wrestled, 2 matches in WWE?
The man that calls Sting.
3 matches in WWE.
Man calls. He's as quick as a cat. Sorry.
You just
coming fresh off of our music
if
thing.
you want to hear the Sting theme, listen to our past episode. But yeah, Sting, Hall of Fame, 3 matches. I think 3, right? He had a match on Raw.
WWE. Well, so WWE is all-encompassing, right? And includes WCW.
Come on,
at this point. I mean. But yes, and formerly known as WWF.
Yes.
Just 3 matches, right? 1 on Raw, Seth Rollins, WrestleMania. Yeah. Are we missing one?
I don't think so. Because he was on Raw. That was like his first Raw.
The tag match.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just appearances, but not necessarily matches.
So Sting is a WWE Hall of Famer. They announced it a couple days ago, and he is going to be the first inductee. He's going to be the headliner, I would assume. I don't know anybody else can go over that if it's Taker.
No, in Texas, right? That's home territory.
Yeah, it's going to be a big time.
Steve Borden.
Well-deserved.
Well-deserved. Yeah, even though, like we said, he didn't wrestle in what it was WWF, and now it's become WWE. If WWE is going to be all-encompassing of the things that made it itself, including WCW, how do you not introduce him? Or induct him, I should say, sorry.
Yeah.
He is the franchise. He is the guy, before there was an NWO, he is what made WCW relevant to even get us to the point that we could have a Monday Night War.
Right.
Without Sting, why would Scott Hall and Kevin Nash even consider going to WCW? He carried that brand by himself for so long. I was a Sting fan as a kid.
Yeah.
I had Stinger toys. Absolutely. It's a good time. Paint your face. I just hope that they do a little...
Did you really paint your face?
As the Ultimate Warrior, not as Sting.
Not as Sting.
As Ultimate Warrior for Halloween.
Yeah. It's well-deserving. Great headliner for this year's WrestleMania. But I'm curious to see who else gets inducted this year. There's a lot of rumors about about maybe possibly Vader being one of the guys. DDP's name's been thrown out there. Who else? Oh, geez. What's the three main? The Freebirds.
Oh, yeah. Fabulous Freebirds.
They could
Absolutely.
be thrown in there. So there's a lot of different possibilities. Ric Flair will possibly induct Sting, which is perfect. Those guys wrestled.
Somebody did mention Lex Luger.
Yeah,
somebody asked JR, would they allow Lex Luger?
I think it's going to be Flair. Flair's already in WWE. They had the last match on Nitro. They had that rivalry way back.
There is so much history with them. Yeah, Lex Luger's like his best buddy, though.
Yeah, but
was for the longest time.
I think for entertainment purposes, it's going to be Flair.
I hope that there is homage paid to the Blade Runners. That's what I want to see.
That'd be nice. I'm surprised it wasn't Lemmy that was inducted first for this class, even though I think he will be
the celebrity
wing
induction.
Yeah,
you can't just induct Lemmy though, right? It's got to be Motorhead. It's got to be the whole band.
Yeah, but I think focus on Lemmy.
Well, obviously,
since he's Triple H's bud.
I can't name anybody else in Motorhead.
I think I can name Billy Campbell as one.
Oh yeah. I don't know. He's just that face.
Here's a trivia question.
That face.
Name the members of Motorhead without cheating, folks. Don't be Googling on us.
Yeah, come on.
Hit
us up here, Justin Summers, fact checker.
Yeah, tweet at us. Members of Motorhead off the top of your head, not Google, buddy.
I will give a shout out to Justin, who did a great job on the music episode let us know that X-Pac's theme was a recycled Mike Tyson theme.
Oh boy, I think
I appreciated that.
Mike Tyson's theme. That's like a That's like a long lost episode.
I know, right? Yeah,
that's like a Chad Dukes episode. Poor Chad Dukes. We gotta get him on again
that was like Rumble. This time we talked about the Royal Rumble.
We should get him on next week.
It was right after the Royal Rumble we talked to him.
Yeah, we'll get him on.
It was enjoyable.
Then we won't post it. Then it will just be lost.
We'll talk to Chad.
Ryan will lose it somewhere.
Yeah.
So we have plenty else to talk about. So good for Sting. I'm sure we're gonna be talking about the class in the coming weeks. Big news in wrestling is
huge news.
The speculation that WWE has added a few members of the Bullet Club to their main roster. AJ Styles, Nakamura, who isn't in Bullet Club, but he actually is going to WWE. They announced it. It's covered in Japan. But also Doc Gallows and not Mr. Anderson, but
Carl Anderson
coming over to WWE from the Bullet Club. If you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, they had a storyline. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega turned on AJ Styles, kicked him out of the Bullet Club, and now you're going to have him, AJ Styles, allegedly come to WWE, a 38-year-old free agent coming to WWE for the big money. And these guys, I think, for the money that's involved in these guys, will not be going to NXT. They will go to main roster and possibly, allegedly, forming Balor Club with Finn, main roster, and making their own kind of quote-unquote Bullet Club on the main roster. Hey, I'm excited.
I did see something that WWE was acquiring the rights to the Bullet Club name, though.
No, they can't. No, Balor Club.
Yeah, I know they were going to go with Balor
Bullet Club is owned by New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I thought that they were working to grab those.
That'd be a lot of money if they.
I would imagine
because there still was a Bullet Club with Omega and the Young Bucks in New Japan. So what would they call them then?
The Young Bucks and
the
Omega.
New Bullet Club, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they call them like a new blood, like in
NBC.
WCW days. I don't know.
Yeah.
WNBC. Is it what you said?
That's it. NBC New Bullet Club.
NBC. Yeah. Yeah. Never know.
I don't know, but that would be very exciting. AJ Styles is a guy, if you listen to the show multiple times, or we've talked about, if you did a new NWO, who would it include? And that's a name that I have always said. I was like, he's not a name that your average wrestling fan is going to know. But if you're somebody who's watched WWE and TNA, and you're a big WWE fan, and you kind of had ideas of TNA, he's a name that you would recognize, and it's a big impact in that manner. But I also had paired him with Kurt Angle at that point. And I don't think that's going to happen. But the Bullet Club is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. The thing is, though, we're going to see how it's booked, how they use these guys. That's the big, you can bring these guys in, but if you stick them in mid-card status, it kind of takes away the whole aura of bringing these quote-unquote new guys into WWE. AJ Styles had a couple dark matches in WWE way back in the day.
Way back.
Against the Hurricane. We're going way back here. I think like Sunday night, Shotgun Saturday Night.
Sunday Night Heat, maybe,
yeah, way back. But, hey, if you bring them in and main event, you're going to have to. If you're throwing a lot of money at these guys, you're going to have to. Main event. Now, I'm sure when this is officially announced, if it does, we'll be talking about how they can book these guys and what's going to be happening. Are they coming as heels, as faces, as the authorities, henchmen, or against the authority? A lot of different possibilities, but I think it's very important they book these guys strong and they introduce these guys to the crowd, because WWE Universe, being young, they don't really know who these guys are. They need to be introduced properly to get the full effect.
I like the idea of them coming in radical style.
Okay.
Like WWE.com.
They knew who they were.
Yeah, WWE.com, though, did a great job of already putting it out there, setting it up. Hey, there's this speculation. These guys could be coming here. Don't know what's happening with the deal yet. They're not signed, but who knows? There's all these rumors, blah, blah, blah. And then, to have them suddenly front row or hanging out in the crowd, and you have, I don't know, maybe it's Roman Reigns, and he wants to know, what's your beef, man? And he's in their face.
Yeah.
Right? And just like, what's going on? And they are shoving him back and forth over the barrier. Something like that could be a lot of fun for the fans. And for the fans who don't know who they are, it piques your interest. And now the announcers have to talk about them. They got to sell them. They got to introduce them that way.
Yeah.
And for the fans who do know, it's an exciting little standoff, so to speak. Maybe all the baby faces who come out are kind of in their face, so all of a sudden you have a grouping of a Reigns and a Ziggler just out there, and Ambrose or whoever, like, what's your deal? I don't know, maybe them and Lesnar's face could be fun, because there's a guy that doesn't take any crap.
Yeah, it's very important.
So many different things that you can do.
The important thing is, bottom line, this is a chance for Finn to come up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Because I always thought Finn coming up and on his own with the Demon persona, alter ego kind of thing, I don't know how that can be booked in WWE, but now you have him with a group. I think it's perfect for him, but everybody loves Finn. So if he comes up as a douchebag guy, what better way to turn him if he's with his buddies?
Yeah, I like factions as long as they're done right.
I love factions.
They're a great time.
Really quick,
They're
before
like
we wrap
gangs.
up this segment, really and get to our Rumble talk, there is currently, counting Balor Club, which could be coming to WWE, there would be 5 factions now. You have New Day. You have League of Nations.
Yep, the Wyatt family.
Then you would have,
Balor Club would be 4.
Right. And
Who's
then
the
you would
fifth?
have Social Outcast.
Oh, Social Outcast.
So
our new favorite faction.
Our new favorite faction. Heath Slater. You also have Curtis Axel, Adam Rose, and Mr. Your favorite,
Bo Dallas.
also in this group. And they seem to be a mishmash of social outcasts.
Yeah, still
Misfits.
no Damian Sandow, who I feel like should be a part of that.
Well, there was a Mizdow sighting on Raw, standing behind New Day when McMahon was
he
going
was just
over.
standing there.
But he was in his robe with his towel. He was in the Damian Sandow gimmick. But it hasn't been used much. I think he's been working dark matches for the weekend, non-TV tapings.
Right.
But he hasn't come out on TV as Damian Sandow, which I'm looking forward to. But hey, factions. We love factions.
Also of note, speaking of factions and splitting things off, is SmackDown finally going back to USA. And that aired this past week, the first SmackDown on USA. John Cena was there. I don't know. Was it good? Do you feel like it was better than what they had on Sci-Fi?
The best thing about...
Was it live? I don't remember.
No, it was not live. It was taped.
That was pre-taped, too.
Best thing about SmackDown was the slow turn of Jerry the King Lawler turning back to his heel commentator.
Yeah, and what I did like this week, I noticed a difference on Raw, is they talked more about SmackDown and carrying a Raw storyline into SmackDown storyline translating over to Raw, and not just ignoring SmackDown like it's, just a program you can watch like Wednesday night's main event.
Yeah, I was paying more attention to Lawler.
Yeah,
dropping his tidbits. He's going to be a slow turn to heel, but he's starting, which I think is great because that's where he's most comfortable. Not comfortable, but that's where he's more effective as a heel than sucking up to all the good guys.
New announcer, Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah,
I enjoyed him. He was like very excited about everything.
He called the moves.
Yeah, reminded me a little bit of Joey Styles.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Just the manner in which he did, like everything was exciting and excitable.
I wonder if Cole will tell him to stop calling moves because Cole is in charge of announce teams. So I wonder if that will stop for this week's match.
Oh, I like him calling the moves.
I do too, but they don't like that. They don't like doing that.
Oh.
They don't like calling moves. They'll say, "Oh, wow." They won't say, "Oh, what a brain buster there."
I'll say, "What a move."
So that's some news topics covering today. Looking forward to the Rumble, and we're going to get into our favorite moments of our Royal Rumble memories coming up. This is Awesome Wrestling Show.
This is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and the whole shebang, not to mention the King of Cleveland, and of course, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and you're listening to the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
All right, Steve, let's go over some of our Royal Rumble memories with the event only less than 2 weeks away. We're going to be talking about, for our topic of the week, Royal Rumbles. Steve, I've been to 2 Royal Rumbles. You will be popping your cherry, your Royal Rumble cherry.
Yes.
When you go to this one in Orlando, it's a cool experience. Obviously on TV, we don't know who's coming out. It's cool to watch it on TV, but it's even cooler in person because you're part of the crowd.
Yeah.
You have surprise entrance. You're part of the pop and everything. It's a cool experience. But just because I've been to 2 of them. I've been to the one in 2013 when who won the 13? Cena won in Phoenix, and then in Pittsburgh they had one in 2014. That was Batista winning that one. So I was a part of those 2. So my moment was when number 30 came out in 2014, and everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to come out.
Yeah,
and it was Rey Mysterio, and he got booed out of the building. And Batista won, and he got booed. It was very, 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 very cool to be a part of that. I was on the floor, ringside, and to experience it that close, it was pretty cool to watch the Rumble.
A little scary to probably be a part of that, right? I thought people were going to riot.
No, it wasn't that bad. People
no,
were just
it wasn't Cleveland Browns Stadium Bottlegate.
No, the people
Not that bad.
People were voicing their opinion, but it wasn't like I was scared for my life, Steve.
Yeah.
So no, but it was cool. It was cool to be a part of that moment and be a part of the crowd. Pittsburgh crowd is pretty cool to be a part of. Not as cool as Cleveland, but those are my favorite personal Rumble moments.
That was that Rumble that you remember for not being good, like for negative reasons, but it still made quite the impact. You get, Daniel Bryan doesn't show up. Wasn't Ziggler in there like just briefly? He comes in at like 25 or something, and he just tossed. Or was that last year I was thinking of because he and Daniel Bryan both had kind of like a short run.
CM Punk, that was CM Punk's last Rumble.
CM Punk's last Rumble.
That was
walks out the next night.
Yeah, ticked him off. I think eliminated by Kane.
Hasn't been back since.
He was.
But they chant his name every night.
Yeah, in Cleveland. I was backstage. I actually saw CM Punk walk out of Quicken Loans Arena.
Took his ball and went home.
He was not very happy. But yeah, that was my Pyre Rumble moment, being there in person. I'm sure a lot of you listening have been to your Royal Rumble in your area, hopefully. So let us know your experience on Twitter. Also, a new website. We have a comment, so you guys can comment too on there. But Steve, what are some of your not only Royal Rumble matches, but just Royal Rumble moments that stick out in your mind?
I was telling you before, one of the first ones that stuck out in my mind is 95. And Shawn Michaels goes over the top ropes. It's him and the British Bulldog. And that was the first moment as a kid. I was like, I watched as Shawn Michaels holds on to that top rope. and you think he's gone from the camera angle because you can't see it. It's across the ring, and then it turns out, oh no, he held on.
Yeah.
He didn't go over all the way, and then they show the other one, and he's just swinging his feet, is not touching the ground, and he pulls himself back over and just throws over the British Bulldog. That was crazy for me. And then the year right before that, of course, was Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Still to this day, I've watched it like on YouTube and everything, going over the top rope at the same time. From a production standpoint, as a guy who goes to like AIW, watches things behind the scenes, everything involved in that is just mind-boggling. Like, everything worked right. They both went over, and they both land at the exact same time, at least as far as the camera shots can tell and show you. And I just thought, man, the timing for everybody, Luger, Bret Hart, the camera guys, to get all of that, I thought was, I appreciate it even more now, but it just, that was mind-boggling then. It still is now. Like, wow, that's so cool. Which, of course, then led us to a great Bret Hart, Owen Hart battle and feud there to begin at WrestleMania. Bret goes on to win the belt.
There was a lot of Rumble moments, from Kofi spots to guys getting eliminated to special appearances, but there was always that speculation about what if the winner, and for people wrestling this, wrestling is fake, it's predetermined. What if the winner gets accidentally eliminated? What happens then?
What happens?
This has happened before. So I know Stone Cold on his podcast mentioned the story where he was eliminated. He was supposed to be in the Final Four, but was eliminated. There's been other botches for the Royal Rumble, Steve. Guys getting eliminated when they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Therefore, kind of ruining what was supposed to happen. 2011, the whole when Miz was champion, Alex Riley was his little guy, his sidekick. Riley was supposed to take out Cena, was supposed to eliminate him in 2011. That didn't happen because Riley was eliminated way before he was supposed to. And he falls to the ground. He slips and falls. And the look on Cena's face is like, oh, no, what happens now? And you can see that the refs come over and are telling him what's going to happen, how it's going to be played out. But that was supposed to happen. Riley was supposed to eliminate Cena. That didn't happen. Macho Man coming off the apron with a double axe handle over the top rope. So he was eliminated, but he got back in. Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Like Gorilla Monsoon said, oh, you have to be eliminated by another
You're going to
wrestler.
be thrown over the top rope just by another wrestler.
So that means Drew Carey
is still in it.
Is the Rumble champion 2001.
Well, and I think other botches, people might not know this, but in 2011, Alberto Del Rio was not supposed to win. Santino was supposed to hold on and come back in and win that match. That's another great Royal Rumble moment. And that brief moment where you suspend belief and you think, are they going to let Santino Marella win the Royal Rumble? This would be the greatest thing ever. The crowd was going nuts for that, though. If you remember, I watched that at the Fox and Hound in Mayfield, Ohio, with a couple of buddies, and everybody in the room is just going nuts, thinking, "Oh my God, are they really going to let Santino win?" And that would have been super cool.
That was the winner / spring of Santino, because at the following pay-per-view at Elimination Chamber, he almost got the victory. He did his finisher, the Cobra, and pinned 1-2, kicked out, but he was the last one eliminated. And that was the last time Santino got a big kind of a push.
And then, of course, 1999, we see Vince McMahon, the owner and chairman of the WWE, winning the Royal Rumble over Stone Cold Steve Austin. He kind of hit out. He thought Stone Cold won, and then McMahon comes in, throws Stone Cold out. And then, of course, that introduced us then to Paul White. Yeah. Not the Big Show yet, just Paul White.
That's Paul White.
Because
Cole.
Stone Cold beats Vince McMahon the next pay-per-view to gain the right to fight in WrestleMania there.
Didn't Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon fight in the bathroom? And the corporation was waiting in the bathroom, and they beat up Stone Cold
during that Royal Rumble.
Yeah, didn't that Rumble match?
Maybe that sounds vaguely
Vince
familiar.
Made his way back to like the ring, and then during that time period that he was out, like other guys eliminated, then he made his way back.
Yeah,
and then threw Austin out.
it could be.
I want to say that happened. There was a bathroom scene. I'm not sure if it was Rumble or not, but between McMahon and then McMahon kind of lured him in, and then because I think they fought over the arena. I'm not positive, but yeah, those were. I mean, that was when you had everybody getting a huge pop like coming out.
Yeah,
and you had like guys like the one Billy Gunn coming out.
Was that we looked up? Was what year was it? I mean, it was '98. The year before, Mick Foley comes out as 3 different characters.
Yeah, three different guys.
Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind.
It was '98 was probably the definitive Attitude Era Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
like that was the one.
Which Stone Cold won that as
You had
well.
Mike Tyson watching from the skybox, from Shane McMahon's skybox. You had Owen Hart in there too, and then you had Stone Cold, and you had you were right, 3 different characters for Mick Foley. So there was a lot of different feuds going on. They had Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart going at it, but and they had the false elimination of The Rock. But yeah, it was '98 was like the definitive Attitude Era Royal Rumble.
Well, you know something, dudes. Let me tell you something, brother. If I had to go back in time, dudes, my 2 favorite Royal Rumbles, brother, are 1990 and 1991, dudes.
Hawk. You're a WWE? I didn't know that. Didn't know I thought you're. Are you in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I'm in the Hall of Fame, brother.
I don't think so. Your name's not in the book, buddy. There's some.
There's a mistake there.
No, Hulk Hogan is one of our predictions. Our prediction show. Will he be reinstated by WWE?
Well, you know something, dude. It's only a matter of time, brother. Because you can't have a back-to-back WWE Royal Rumble winner not being in the Hall of Fame. Hacksaw Jim Duggan only won 1 time.
Who was the first
But
winner?
he's still in the Hall of Fame.
Hacksaw
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, brother.
Okay, please stop, Hogan.
Get out of here, Terry.
Leave, Terry.
All right, dudes.
Get out of here.
See you brothers in Florida.
No, we're not going to Florida.
I am. I might see him there.
He's
Hit me up, Terry.
All right, dude.
this show's derailed.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan was your first winner in 1988.
Now, 2015, obviously we all know the winner of that will become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But back in '92, Ric Flair won the title.
He did. Vacant title at that time,
Yes.
though.
That was probably a lot of people talk about that being the best Rumble ever. Obviously, that was back when I was 9 years old.
Was. And I remember that one because it had a lot going for it because you had all these like old era guys. You had Hogan, Savage, but you also had Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, that was huge at that time because he was, like we talked earlier with Sting being inducted. WCW was Sting and Ric Flair. And all of a sudden, here's Ric Flair in WWF. And you're like, is he going to win? What's going to happen there? And, man, he was rubbing it in people's faces. I remember it was brutal, getting in Randy Savage's face. And it goes on to win and become your champion.
The promo he did after was probably before all his WCW promos when he was wild Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But this is serious. I think he had blood on, or he was just wild man Ric Flair in his promo. And he had Bobby the Brain Heenan behind him. He had Mr. Perfect behind him. And it was probably one of the best promos I have ever seen a guy cut. And that was probably the best Ric Flair performance. It's up there.
It was awesome.
For him.
It was Ric Flair in his prime, man. It was, and then you had the young guys like Taker's there at that point.
Yeah.
So that's like one of his first Royal Rumbles. Shawn Michaels is in there and Marty Jannetty. I think they're not the Rockers at that point. I think Shawn Michaels is still on his. I think he's finally on his own, or maybe they are still the Rockers. I don't remember, but again, Bret Hart. It's just a who's who when you look back at guys that defined the next coming era and the era right before it.
Yeah.
All coming to a head in that Royal Rumble, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It was one of the Rumbles that, like I said, I remember the most just from watching it on the network. and seeing Flair win, but and comparing it to now, it's do you think the Rumble still has a kind of the aura of it being a Rumble? Because back in the day, I mean, you didn't know who would win, but now it's like, okay, if a guy comes back like Batista, you kind of knew he was going to be in the final two. Reigns, it was rumored that he was going to remain at WrestleMania. Like, we kind of knew that Reigns was going to win.
Yeah, it's weird because the way they book it now, there are so many smaller names.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, everybody who was a name was in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Think about the people just like, so that Royal Rumble ends by Hulk Hogan actually pulling Sid Vicious over the top rope.
Yeah.
Or Sid Justice, I think, when he was in
Yeah.
WWF. But so those are three big names right there in your final three. And in the late '90s, we talk about who we just said: Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Those guys are all still in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Whereas we go back to 2014, Daniel Bryan's not even in this freaking thing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, now you're right. It's set up more for. It's going to be obvious who's going to win. I mean, last year you got Big Show and Kane, and you knew immediately, like, all right, these two are pretending to fight. Roman's going to toss them out with their own weight or whatever, and that's how it's going to go down. And it became too clear, too obvious, but it's almost built now more for the fun,
Yeah.
not for the storyline stuff. Like, you used to get some real storylines out of the Royal Rumbles within the match, and I always thought that was really cool. And now it's more like, which I do appreciate. I like watching it to find out who's going to be the big pop like that you don't expect. I do remember John Cena getting a huge pop at one point. Remember, there was the year...
Yeah, he was number 30.
And he tore his pec.
Yeah, he came back.
Triple H is just destroying everybody,
and
then it comes out, and then John Cena's just standing there with his head down.
That was in New York in 2008.
That was when people still liked John
30.
Cena a lot.
Yeah.
And he comes out and you just bashing back and forth with Triple H. I remember Triple H also returning during a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think when he came back from his injury.
Yeah, and that was huge. So it's fun to see that, and then it's also fun to see the surprises like Bubba Ray Dudley and DDP showing up last year.
Yeah, when Goldust made a return too.
Yeah.
Jericho sometimes made a return via the Rumble.
And maybe that's because...
Hell, even the Godfather came back.
Yeah, Godfather
3
came
years
back.
ago, yeah.
And maybe that's because the Rumble is so far in now, because we're on, this is like the 27th or 28th Royal Rumble, something like that. So maybe we're so far into it now where that stuff is exciting. Royal Rumble starts out, to build the name of it and build the draw, you've got to have every big name possible.
Yeah.
You're 4 years into this. It's not like you have a lot of people who have competed. So now as it gets longer, how do you draw people? Maybe you bring back some names of guys who have competed, and that's the fun of it. But I don't know. I think it still would help to have every single big name in there and build the storylines from there. Just like how last year everybody wanted to see Mizdow eliminate Miz during the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Could have built that for WrestleMania, and they didn't.
Yeah, you wanted to... Yes, things started for WrestleMania season... And you had different, feuds start, and you had the big guys always be a part of the Final Four.
Yeah.
And it was cool because you didn't know which guy was going to win. You knew that these guys would be a part of WrestleMania, the main events, but you didn't know who was going to win the Rumble. It was still a big thing. And now, you're right, it's like they kind of telegraph it a little bit more now to where, okay, it's going to be Reigns or it's going to be Lesnar. Like, nobody else matters.
Yeah.
None of the other guys being in there, it's not realistic they're going to win. And back then, I mean, it could have been, a whole slew of guys because the top guys, it was running 10 guys deep. You didn't know which one. Now it's only 3 or 4. You're just, eliminating the choices by, okay, they're pushing Reigns, pushing Lesnar. It's going to come down to one of those two guys.
Yeah, and even going back to the Santino one, it's like, all right, well, we know it's Del Rio now because it's Santino who's left. Yeah, I mean, when their Final Four are 4 really huge dudes that anything is possible, and you're like, oh my gosh, it could be any one of these guys. That's what you want to see.
Before we wrap it up, did you have Royal Rumble parties growing up as a kid in high school? have like one house you go to and you pull out numbers and you put like $1 in for every number you want to draw?
No, we did not do
You
that.
didn't do that?
No.
We used to. One guy used to host it by the pay-per-view, and then there would be 30 spots, so you bring like $5. There was like 6 of us there, and you would, for each one you want to pull out, you get $1. So you pull out, and the winner gets like $25. So I mean, this is back in high school. So you would pull out. So if you pull number 6, so number 6 won, you win the pot.
Yeah.
So people still do that now with a little bit more money, but you never had Royal Rumble parties or anything like that.
No.
Never had. It was bigger than WrestleMania for like us, because it was a Rumble, it was fun, and we were kind of competing against each other too.
I remember when I was a really little kid, my friends and I, we didn't get pay-per-view back then, but we also couldn't keep up with the storylines. We're talking 92 is before Monday Night Raw starts.
Yeah.
And we used to rent the cassette tapes, the VHS when it came out. And we used to all get around after school one day, and everybody would come over to my house, and we'd watch the VHS of the matches. And, of course, Dad would be yelling downstairs, hey, quit jumping, because somebody naturally would be jumping off of the couch onto, elbows smashing somebody else. And it's like, knock that off. So that's what we always did. I remember watching the 1992 Royal Rumble on VHS with all of my friends.
I had a buddy. I would never buy the pay-per-views. I think I bought one in my life, and that was when I was WCW guy back then. It was when Leno and DDP teamed up against Rodman and Hulk Hogan. But what would happen is a buddy of mine would buy all of them, but he would tape it on a videotape and then give it to me at school on a Monday, and then I would hurry up and get home, watch the pay-per-view before Raw so I knew what happened, and I would do it that way. It was like pirating, back in 1998.
Yeah.
Piracy. Just taping it on a videotape, and then giving it to me, hanging it off at school. And then I would pass it on to the next guy. I
used to watch the pay-per-views, probably told you this before, I used to watch them at the Manning household.
Okay.
In Cleveland, Rick Manning, of course, on the Indians broadcast team. I used to be really good friends with his son in high school, and we used to watch the pay-per-views there. And Rick would just barge in wherever we were watching it. Oh, what are you guys watching? And then just rip on us for like 10 minutes for watching wrestling and being teenagers, knowing that it's not real.
Did you just say Dennis Eckersley? Did you just say that name and watch
No. I had a great relationship with Rick. It's like another dad for me, man, at that time. He just come in. Oh, you guys know it every 10 minutes. You guys know it's fake, right? Yeah, we got it right.
They traded the wrong guy.
That's not nice.
They're not listening. It's okay. Yeah.
Somebody might be.
I don't care.
Oh boy,
that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I think there was always that one house you watched, especially for Rumbles, but for there was always a system for pay-per-views to know. And Raja.com was the website for rumors.
Yeah.
Back in the late 90s. And I was check at school, the latest rumors.
I wasn't in it, man. I wasn't on the internet back then. Probably because my brother was so busy downloading porn on AOL, dial-up.
I would do it at school because school had the faster connection than dial-up at home. Oh. So before the bell rang in the last period, I would type in Raja.com. I would either get SmackDown spoilers to see if I should watch SmackDown, or the latest news about who's coming to WWE, because back then, guys were switching. So I would read it. And I still use the website now. That's 17 years of visiting the same website, and they still just post news left and right. But I used to, get spoilers that way too. Or if I didn't watch a pay-per-view and I couldn't get the tape, I would go to the website and check who won, and then watch Raw.
Did you like when they used to get to pick? Back when we had separate brands, you get to pick which title you went after. Remember, that gave us the feud between Batista and Triple H.
Yeah, but then
that effectively broke up Evolution.
Yeah, but like I always viewed, like, I know SmackDown had the WWE Championship for a while and JBL had it, but I feel like whoever had the SmackDown title, it was
secondary.
It was a secondary. Like, why would you want to go after the secondary when you can be on Raw, the main brand? This didn't make sense. Like, that's why the brand split, if there ever, and that could be another show we could possibly talk about. there should be one champion and the champion goes on both shows,
Yeah.
not split up. World heavyweight and then WWE champion.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I talked about that in my one of my Examiner articles. First one on how to save
Which
Raw.
will be linked on our website. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com.
But it did give us the 40-man Royal Rumble.
Only 40-man, which was won by.
I don't know. Bautista, probably.
It was.
Or is that John Cena?
I think it was Del Rio.
Was that 2011 when Del Rio won it?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think that was that year.
And that was, Miz was champion, WB champion.
And
was there a brand split back then? 2011?
That's when it ended. That was the last year the brand split was 2011.
Because I figured that 2011 WrestleMania, Miz obviously main evented with Cena, had The Rock come out, and it was Del Rio. Del Rio won, and then Edge was World Heavyweight Champion with Christian. That's when Edge and Christian demolished Del Rio's car at the top of the stage that year.
Yes.
That was already 5 years ago, man.
And that was also Edge's last match.
Yes,
at WrestleMania. He has to retire the very next night.
On this
day, locked in secret now. We didn't talk about that during our song. That's sorry.
I had it on my top 10. Edge's, that's that. Edge, that theme is amazing.
You think you know me? That's a different one.
On the star.
That's a good one. I always think of You Think You Know Me, though, because of the kazoos.
You think you know me. 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 All right. Any other final Royal Rumble moments? Or
no, this has me more excited for it, even though I don't know what's going to happen.
Reminiscing about it.
If you really want to think about it this year, okay, how awesome would this be? Because The Rock's going to be at WrestleMania, but he can't wrestle at WrestleMania. But what if The Rock is a surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble anyway, and he's there, and your final four, okay, ready? Roman Reigns, The Rock, Triple H, and Brock Lesnar.
That would be one hell of a final four.
That would be sweet. And then, The Rock and Triple H get pissed at each other, whatever, taking each other out. It's down to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. That'd be, dude. That's how you rumble right there.
Final four will be Big Show, Kane, Roman Reigns, and Triple H.
I would like to see a Cesaro in the Final Four.
Not going to happen.
No. Kevin Owens.
Was he on the stage?
I was just thinking that as I said that. I don't.
They pretty much that whole stage was 25 guys.
It was very full.
So,
I don't know.
They said all those guys are in the Rumble.
I don't know. Apparently, Vince thinks that Dolph's last name is Ziggler.
You've been here 10 years. Haven't grabbed He was World Heavyweight Champion twice.
Yeah, he's been here 10 years, and you still don't know his name's Ziggler instead of Ziegler?
Where is he? Oh, I bet he did that on purpose, too. Called out Ziggler.
Just for the point of it? Yeah, of course Ziggler, he gets that, and then, of course, did you know that Dolph Ziggler also has a successful improv and stand-up career?
And then New Day. Yeah, I got a how Vince will not let that church gospel gimmick die for New Day. I feel a hallelujah coming. It's gonna New Day. It's great. I love Vince.
Oh,
Vince is great. It's gonna be a New Day booty.
That ain't booty. I can't believe he said that.
Booty. Vince said booty.
He said that ain't booty.
Oh God, those guys are great. They're way over. All right, we're gonna be talking about Rumble next week and giving our predictions for the Rumble. Who is going to win? Who will be surprise entrants? So we will do that beginning part of our show, and we will pick a new topic. Let us know any topics that you want us to discuss. We have a brand split to talk about one show. We'll have the Monday Night Wars. We'll talk about different characters, different gimmicks. A ton to talk about. We'll talk about Hulk Hogan for a podcast.
What?
Yeah, we'll talk a lot. We'll have special guests on the show as well in the coming weeks.
Well, you know something, dudes. If you're going to talk about Terry H.H., you got to have the dude here, right, brother?
No, definitely. We're not. No.
All right. I'll see you guys in Florida.
Yeah, see you later. So we'll have a ton of guests this year. We're going to have interviews. AIW is starting up next month, so look for that. So let us know what you think about the show. TIA Wrestling on Twitter. Go to the website, This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. You can contact me, Glenn, at This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Steve, which is the email, Steve at This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Yeah.
And you guys can send your questions to either one of us or just email them the show. That's show at thisisawesomewrestlingshow.com. Go to the website. Check out all the past shows. We'll be posting some articles on there. And you guys can comment and subscribe to our feed so we always know when we're posting a show. Final thoughts, Steve?
Don't forget to check out our Diva of the Day photos that are on there. From going way back when, you'll check out some salacious photos of Mae Young and a fabulous Moolah will be on there.
Page views, buddy. It's all about the page view. We're gonna be taking screen captures of Divas their Instagram and posting the hot photos on their page, grabbing those quick hits.
Maybe some shots from Missy Hyatt's website.
You never know.
You
what's
never
gonna be
know.
on the website. We have the power to post more than just podcast people.
That's right.
We have the power of our own website.
Yeah,
and they can't censor us.
A blue meanie in a bikini.
So you're gonna see Steve Guy posting. I don't know. I have to edit all this stuff before he posts it, so I know. So he's not posting things that he shouldn't be. No, it'll be all right. We'll have fun. Head over there. ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com. We're going to come up with something shorter, just something quick.
Yeah.
All our TIAWS.com
all
is
our
taken.
abbreviations are all taken.
I tried TIA.WS. That's taken. Everything's taken. We'll try to get something. If you think of something short for us, that's straight to the point that we can say, and you don't.
TIAWrestling.com? Was that taken?
No, because I don't like that.
All right.
I don't know. This is awesome.
We'll leave it to you, our listeners.
Well, we're not going to decide for the listeners, but I mean, if you have a good idea, we'll take it.
No, you're right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Awesome wrestling website.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter. We have a Facebook page as well.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah, make sure to like us. We'll be posting on there. So now you'll be more in tune when we post a show. Not just subscribing to iTunes or Libsyn, but we'll be posting. And all our shows on the website will have a rundown, so you guys can know what we talk about on the podcast a little bit more in depth. So
shout out to Sylvester Stallone for his Golden Globe win, Best Supporting Actor in Creed.
Creed was a great movie.
Excellent movie.
Great movie.
And that's a guy who's been involved with wrestling. Had Mr. T on there, and
Terry H.H. was on there.
Terry H.H. was Thunder Lips, one of the greatest roles in Rocky history.
It's great. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. What topic will we discuss?